You know, the underground, specifically SoundCloud culture, has been through a lot of phases and cultures throughout time. And today I want to rank them. Now you're probably wondering how I'm going to divvy up what I say like the time periods are and what era belongs to which and this, that, and the third, right? So the eras are from 2011 to 2014, I have the founding age. Then from 2015 to like 2018, I have the golden period. Then from 2018 to 2020, I have the rebuild period. And then from 2021 to 2023, I have the pandemic era. And then finally, we have modern day from 2024 onwards. There isn't like any rules or stipulations. I'm basically ranking these eras based off what the culture was like, what the music was like, what they achieved in this era, you know, stuff like that. Not necessarily, oh, this era of music is better than this era of music, even though sometimes that might be a factor, but it's not like the defining factor. You'll understand what I mean when we actually start doing this shit. So without further ado, let's just start with what I think is the worst era.
Let's get some fucking bread. Yo, ass got tax leak for that pack. I'm running off instead.
I don't think really anybody is surprised that I put this here. Obviously, I don't think this is the best era of the underground, and it is probably the worst. But I've already harped on that in previous videos. So to start off with the positives though, one thing I really do like is the variety and the diversity in sounds that often go up in comparison to previous generations. Jane Remover don't sound nothing like 1AM, who don't sound nothing like Teases, who don't sound nothing like Uke, who doesn't sound nothing like Non-Vicious. There's enough styles here at play to where I can feel like it's not one specific form of music that takes over everything. Another positive I like is how much pride people be putting into their shit now. A lot of people are getting more conceptual with their stuff now, and I actually genuinely do fuck with that. You have people like Shay, who's for the most part has good world building for his projects since like Kruger, which in my opinion, that type of stuff makes you seem a lot more professional with your art, and it makes you seem like you know what you're doing a lot more than it does when you just shitting shit out, bro. But as for the cons of this generation, to briefly summarize for what I said in the previous video, I don't like how everything is trying to replicate something from the past. I don't like how you can literally just buy a fucking career now. You can just buy a little starter pack promo career and you can have something going. I don't like how you could just drama your way to the top, or how drama takes more precedent than the actual music, it seemed like. Because people would just fuck with you just because you're controversial, or just because it's the opposite things to do, or just because other niggas fuck with you. I don't know. I don't like that at all. One thing I didn't mention in my video though, and this was actually a point brought up by a friend of mine. Niggas do entirely too much with their music nowadays. I know what I said before, but it's like when you listen to something like a Pretty Fun song, or your average Pretty Fun song, or your average Osamason song, or Nettspend song, or Chase song, whatever, right? You'll notice that the bass is like everywhere. Like it's kind of overbearing at times, which I mean, yeah, it can be hard. I'm not saying that it's not. But it also doesn't let the song breathe, nor the listener, because it sounds claustrophobic as hell when you just have a wall of noise going on in your ear. And with that approach when it comes to music, you have to switch it up still. So there's no groove in the music. There's no breathability in the music. By the time you reach like second 30, the beat has like, you're comfortable with the beat now. Like you're understanding the beat. You basically kind of sort of know how it's gonna play out for the next minute 30 that song is gonna run for. And then like you can't even hate nowadays, bro, because then all of a sudden you're a dick rider, or you're this or you're that. I literally had people in my comments talking about some damn, oh, you praising Lil Pump while hating on Non-Vicious is literally just a circle of time. And you sound dumb as fuck because you don't even know what you're talking about. Lil Pump was hated because he was coming up in an era where trap music was taking more prevalence over lyrical based hip hop on the charts. And so a lot of old heads did not fuck with the fact that this nigga could just say Gucci Gang 100 times on a song and outsell or outdo a song where Denzel Curry is rapping his ass off. People did not like that. The reason why Non-Vicious is hated is because his music sucks in every single part of his identity, where it be his brand, the way he conducts himself, hell, even the music to an extent, is all taken from a hodgepodge of different niggas who did it better than him way before he ever did it. And that nigga's a pedophile. Like, nigga, shut the fuck up, bro. Like I said, I'm trying to be more positive because, like I said, there are positive sides to this scene currently, but I feel like the cons are so fucking fatal. I'm just mad that we went from shit like True Clarity by Isaiah TG to shit like this.
Braids on my hair like Mexico. I cannot vote these lanes, these niggas be faking style, these niggas be hoes. This can take the sweat, but cannot red like me, can't take my floor. Tell your home and peace.
Then if you rightfully hate on shit like this, people are gonna be like, oh, no, dude, no, your ears aren't trained, bro. Your ears aren't trained. You're just an old head for real. You're just an old head. Nigga, I'm 18! I'm not an old head. I just know what the fuck I'm talking about. This shit is ass. Look, it's a Saturday afternoon. I'm trying to be more positive right now. I like how people take their art more seriously now and put a lot more thought and effort into what they put out when it comes to like the image, at least. Even though that's going away. But I definitely do fuck with that, and I also fuck with the diversity of sounds that's coming up, because when you have a whole bunch of diverse sounds, when they come together, it can make for some truly interesting shit. It might not be good, but it's definitely important to have that intersection so that at least someone can expand upon it later. But for my own blood pressure's sake, we're gonna be moving on. Now, admittedly, this is the one era I don't have much insight for, as far as like how it was and how the era actually operated and what it was like being a part of this, because at the earliest I was 4 years old, which means that I was listening to whatever the fuck my parents were listening to, which was not Bones. It was Michael Jackson and Lil Wayne. But even still, I call this the founding era for a reason. This is where a lot of shit first started. Like, a lot of fundamental basic shit started from this era. You had people like Black chrry damn near inventing emo rap, which, even though I think that genre as a whole is kind of dead, it's still highly influential to some of the artists we see today, even if they're not making that exact type of music anymore. So Black chrry still deserves his flowers. Space Ghost Perp is another nigga who deserves his flowers too. I could spend a whole video talking about the shit Perp probably created. Like, that whole vamp shit, that was started by SGP. And then you had the rise of shit like ASAP Mob, which would again be highly influential, and Raider Clan with members like Denzel Curry. People who are seen as one of the best rappers of all time. Then you got people like Chris Travis with the Pizza and Codeine mixtape, which is genuinely like a cult classic at this point. Then you had like people like Lil Ugly Mane and, like I mentioned, Bones earlier. The one thing I don't like about this era is that a lot of stuff, from what I've heard at least, like, you could tell Mystic Styles by 3 6 Mafia was their version of Whole Lotta Red. And so a lot of people drew influence from that album. Not everybody, but you could tell who did and who didn't. And I don't know, it's not like that big of a con. The main con here is just that I wasn't there for it, and I just feel like it wasn't that much variety in the stuff that was coming out. Again, I could be wrong. It could be people I'm misremembering, people I don't know about. But as far as I know of, my very limited knowledge of this era, while I can respect the GOATs, some of the music isn't just for me, and, you know, it wasn't like that much variety in this era. So unfortunately, I had to put it down here. But any old heads watching this, please come correct me in the comments, bro, because I don't know, really, this is just based off what I know, bro. I do know one thing, is because I am not listening to no damn Suicide Boys, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I bet some scrim, you can't even hear me. Yeah, I bet some scrim, you can't even hear me. Ruby hit a did like a cheese egg, giving them a kiss and now I'm sucking up the semen. Still broke after all the motherfucking dudes, all blowed bros, asking for a sloppy toppy right before the show.
Love you, Summers.
This era was fucking insane, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Musically, this is arguably the best one. Like, just on a pure musical standpoint. We had Summrs, Can, SSG Kobe, Isaiah, BK the Ruler, Slime Cito, Sofega, which, side note, bro. Side the fuck note, alright? I don't care. Y'all gonna stop disrespecting this nigga, man. I don't understand why y'all just, like, continuously won't give him a chance and this, that, and the third. Because out of everyone I just named, he's like one of 3 artists I think isn't completely fucking washed now. This nigga still got it, and this nigga is still, like, one of the greatest to ever do it when it comes to this theme specifically, bro. y'all will give this nigga the flowers he deserves, bro. Just cause he fucked up. Not even he fucked up. Some shit that happened that was really out of his control happened going on 4 years now. I don't know, bro. That nigga gave us the war mixtape and Never Touch Kids, and you guys clown on him for it. Anyway, this era shares a lot of similarities with the previous era I just talked about, being the founding era, in which it started a lot of shit. You had stuff like Underdog by Doo-Wop Kane coming out around this time, and then you had like people like Isaiah TG just making up new flows and new different subgenres of music on the fucking fly. Then you had summrs' most influential run, where he was starting to pluggnb shit. You had Fago, where he had his own lane. Cedo and the rest of RSG just doing crazy shit. This era is goated, simply because it laid the foundation for a lot of shit, and the music around here was good, and the culture was tolerable. Like, it was a decent time to be a part of an underground fan. Only cons I have is, for one, this era was short. I feel like the moment Whole Lotta Red dropped, we ushered into the pandemic era. But when it came to like another con, is that it still kind of has like the nuclear fallout from the cloud era. So you had niggas like Wyland just posting himself up with like rocket launchers and shit, bro. Even though this era was short-lived, which is his main downside, honestly, it was a hell of an era, bro. It was one hell of a run. Like, wow, man. Imagine hearing fucking 2020 for the first time in your life. Like that, like nothing else that's came out before that.
Walked in ready, bitch, I walked in ready. 100 round drum gon' hit you in the belly. My wrist cost more than your mom new Chevy. Sipping on walk, made my head feel heavy.
I'm pretty sure I don't need to say this shit, but this era was goated. Like, this era was goated. Carti, Uzi, Pumps, X, Ski, Trippy Red, Famous Dex, Rich the Kid, Uno the Activist. I can go fucking on and on and on, bro. This was really a time to be alive. I'd say this era ended the moment X died, because at that point niggas was just trying to find the new X and see who's the next up and comer or whatever who was most similar to X, which is a huge reason as to why Juice WRLD initially blew up. I'm not saying he wasn't talented, but I feel like that definitely played a factor. Musically speaking, this is arguably the best era again. I think I have it tied with the rebuild era, as just for how much shit just came out during this time. You had D Phoenix, you had Carti self-titled, you had Lil Pump self-titled, all the Rich Forevers from this era. Then you had shit like Dead Star by Smoke Purge, Live Shine Die by Uno the Activist. Like, I could go on and on and on, bro. It was truly a time to be alive. And then I also say another con is the fact that, like, during this time you could be a literal troll and just like, there was this one nigga who had like chains for dreads or whatever. Now you could do shit like that and then somehow get a little sizable audience. And yeah, but this was taking place during prime Instagram cloud era. I don't know what the fuck these new niggas doing now, but yeah, no, this era was insane, bro. Like, this era was insane. It almost felt like the Wild Wild West in a sense, cause like niggas was just doing shit and just having fun. The music was fun. They weren't taking themselves too seriously, but they also demanded respect when they deserved it. And you know, a lot of foundational stuff also came up from this era. Though I do feel as though like most shit from this era can be placed in either two categories, being sad shit or turnt shit. With people like X and Uzi doing a mix of both, and Trippie Redd just doing like kind of like a weird mix of both. There are some artists I feel like that don't fit either of them lanes, like Scarlord, but for the most part I feel like each artist I mentioned could fit into either of those two categories. But regardless, this was a classic era, bro. I just think there's one era that's slightly better.
Yeah. AK gon' knock that boy right out his jeans. My bitch better than she rockin' that Celine.
Now, I understand that this might be a controversial take, right? Like I said before, obviously the music from the past era, specifically the Golden Age and low-key the Rebuild era, obviously the music was better. I'm not saying that it is. The reason why I feel like the pandemic era was the best underground period of all time was simply because of how united everyone felt, which I mean was the case for most other eras, but also because, like I put in a previous video, it felt like anybody could blow up. But it didn't feel like just anybody could blow up. You were seeing talent from all types of places. You had niggas like Jaydes with his like more melodic and like street shit and the no auto flow. Then you had people like Smoking Skull doing that at 808s. You had the reinvention of people like Summrs, SSG Kobe, Autumn, etc., who really did like kind of reboot themselves in a way. And then you just had a whole bunch of talented young niggas taking over the game. Tana, Slump, Che, Majin. Hell, as much as I hate that nigga, and even though that nigga has me blocked, like I said, that Hypernova mixtape by Cash Dummy still kinda hit, bro. I ain't gonna lie. It was enough variety going on too. It wasn't just one style of music. Yes, Rage and pluggnb were both like popular and like were the dominating genres. But you had niggas doing shit like Jersey. You had niggas doing like the drill shit. Then you got niggas like fucking Glock 40 Spaz, who damn near invented that whole like crash out style rap. If I'm being real, we owe a lot of shit to Glock. Atlanta niggas owe a lot of shit to Glock, because he really was one of the first people to do that type shit. But hell, even later on in this era, you had the primes of people like Xavier and Osama, people who we revere now. Oh, and there's the obvious reason.
Hey, Mino, is this carson?
The one for me. I tried to give you everything, babe. How this shit turned out kind of funny. You fuck with them and that's so crazy. Oh, it's so strange. Oh, it's so crazy. I can't keep myself together, baby. Feeling all my emotions, boy.